fair. I have no idea. I'll put this down a little bit, that way I'm actually more audible since I can't use my mic unfortunately for this one. Which stinks. Alright. Says it's working, so. Yeah, no, it's on. Okay, sweet. Hope you guys enjoy stream. It's gonna be a real fun one. Huh, really? How do I sound? Can't buy remastered anyways, so it's alright. I am using Blender. Everything's already set I did before the stream. We should be fine. That's what I was thinking. Everything looks good to me. We just have to figure out if the ambience is okay. Which it should be. So we will get this on the roll because this is gonna be really exciting. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. Let me know how my mic sounds. If it needs to be brought up and everything else needs to be put down. Although I think we should be good. But in the case that it isn't, okay. No, it sounds pretty good actually. I don't know where it's coming from though. Alright, we're good to begin then. So, we're doing some 3D modeling. And we're going to basically start with my original weapon that I designed for my original series that was highly inspired by ARTORIAS. We're going to be 3D model. I don't know if we're going to get done tonight, but we are going to 3D model it. We'll get as far as we can. And we're going to have a good time. So enjoy the live stream, enjoy the modeling, say hi in the chat, and we will begin. Let me know how you guys have been, because it's been a minute. It has been a minute. Oh yes, we haven't been live since that DSR live stream I did. And we're going to see if I even have any interest in doing Night Rain, since some people are looking more forward to Duskbloods. I'm not sure because I'm terrible PvP, so, and dropping a ton of money for a Switch 2 seems, this ain't the PS4 guys, because Nintendo Switch is going to want online, it's going to want the game, it's going to want all this other stuff on top of it, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, we're going to begin. So before I start. It's a shame we can't use a mic, it really is. We're gonna have to use wherever it's coming down from. Seems pretty good to me. And yeah, enjoy the show. What I really appreciate about it is that it's not giving away anything else. I am using Streamlabs OBS and it is fantastic right now. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. And let's begin. So, we're gonna switch up to music here. Hopefully, there we go. We got Firelink Shrine on from DS3. Okay, I think we're done now. Let's actually begin. Done with the tomfoolery. We're done with everything else. Okie dokie then. So, if you're new to Blender, you are going to learn some tricks and tips in this video I've learned. And this is going to be awesome because I actually do plan to have this 3D modeled. Or, well, yeah, duh. But I do plan to have this 3D printed, so it's going to be super duper sick. I went ahead and, I know it's a little bit hard to see right now, but this is Selena Beth, a 1.5 sword, or hand and a half sword, but I call them 1.5 swords in my series. Again, let me know how my audio sounds. I took a listen to it earlier. I think I sound good, but depending on what soundtrack I go upon, we might have something else different entirely. But like I was saying, I went for the overall aesthetic of the Wolf Knight Greatsword and the Greatsword of Artorias, but I put all my own twist to it. And when I did the silhouette test, they look nothing alike. And I do think that this design really does fit my character as well, which you'll see very, very, very later down the line. Not anytime soon. But I'm gonna put you guys over here, and we are gonna begin. Technically not, I can put you guys up. Yeah, I think that works better actually. Okay. Let's begin. Again, massive shout out to Blender for being a free open source application that as long as you have the GPU to handle, you can basically do anything. You can make some crazy stuff for free. Also, massive thank you to the whole Blender community for all the awesome add-ons you've given us. Thank you for Dark Souls for being such an awesome game and bringing so many memories and having so much inspiration in your artwork. The direction book is incredible. The concept art is phenomenal. You should definitely check it out later or when you get the time. They're online. And yeah, so this is the overall setup. We have a front and side profile. I did the best I could to get them as close together as I could, and now we're here. So a little bit of a there we go, I turned it down a little bit. Okay, so the music's down a little bit, but that should be fine. So how we're gonna do this is usually when you 3D model something that you want for 3D, you need a front facing and a side profile. And oh my god, excuse me. And since we are making this a 3D print, it's important to make sure that you set, if I press N here, you know what would be really cool, even though this isn't a tutorial? Let me activate my keybind so you guys can see it. In my previous Dark Souls tutorial, I did have the controller keybinds up on the screen so you guys can see what I was pressing. I do that for this as well, even though it's not going to really be necessary. This won't take us too long either, so. Okay, so Dreamcast keys add-on. Alright, I'm probably going to have to buy this later. So it doesn't look like we have it. Alright, well that's fine. Anyways, I'll just explain what I'm clicking. So you guys could take inspiration from my process, but ultimately it's not going to be too fast. But like I was saying before, where is it? We have it set to millimeters instead of meters. This is for 3D printing. Now, if you weren't doing 3D printing and animation, meters would work just fine, but specifically for 3D modeling or 3D printing, we use a slicer, or maybe pure slicer in specific. And when we use that, it's important to have our model in millimeters. And at the end of it, we are going to be using a decimate modifier to really bring down the vertice count. But I don't know how high we're going to be getting just yet. So, yeah. Turn that off and we will start. Also, thank you guys so much for the support. It's awesome. Alright. Always gotta check. Oh wow. Okay, no, we're fine. No, everything sounds good on my end. Alright, I'm not gonna waste time then. Sounds like everything's working good. And we can start, so. I might just keep on my headset actually and let you guys just listen to Firelink and then we'll switch it up then. So yeah, let's begin. Oh my gosh, I dropped the other one. Sweet. Fortunate for everyone that was live. Oh well. Get my music. Huh. You know what, y'all? Starting to notice that now. Alright. Let's begin. I know I've been holding this off long enough. Oh my god. No, don't need that playing. That's an easy copyright. Alright. Also, there's gonna be quite a bit of clicking, so keep that in mind. Might get a little bit loud. So, let's start. What we need to do is first click on our cube, and at least what I'm going to be doing is going to view, or not view object, set origin. We can set origin to geometry or the 3D cursor. if we set the 3D cursor from where it's at right now, since it's right in the middle, it'll actually work just fine. And then we can work around it, where we can just set it to the geometry. Since it's so small right now, it's not a big deal. So if I go to origin to geometry, you can see where the dot's at. If I go set origin to 3D cursor, it's kind of hard to see it, but it is there. It's going to be more noticeable when we put in the mirror modifier. So we're going to do origin to geometry. And this is where we're going to start, so this is going to be epic, even though I don't look like it. Because I noticed there isn't here, because before we set the origin to the cursor, it doesn't seem to work. Okay. I just want to test that out and see what we're going to get. So we're going to do origin to geometry. Then we add the mirror modifier. Mirror the object. Huh. Really? It's not going to let us? Huh. That's so odd. Because we go to set origin, we should be getting one. Oh, that's fine. I don't think we need clipping on just yet. I don't want to do Selena Beth. Okay. I'm gonna try this. We are getting it. But I don't want it to be there. There is one other thing we could try. Since it clearly wants us to have it set, we could set it to a... I think we're just kind of doing this though. But if we set it to a plane, and right there, and then we add our mirror modifier. This is gonna be a little bit more smoother. Set to the plane, G. Oh. That's very odd. There we go. There we go. And I am gonna activate clipping. And I'll show you why if we zoom in here real close. Okay. So we have our mirror modifier on. Now you might notice that the blade, some parts aren't directly in the middle. That is okay. Since we have a mirror modifier on, it'll automatically flip it for us. So as long as the side is fine, which will be primarily probably modeling on the left side anyways, we should be fine. So let's start. I will start with the blade first, then we'll do the base and the guard, the handle and the pommel last, and then we'll start adding on details afterwards. So it shouldn't take us that long. I doubt it will. So let's begin. And by the way, if we want to, we can first get the dimension of the width as well, even though it isn't entirely necessary yet. So without really moving this point, this part, press S, X, bring it on in, I gotta remember, this is the plane. So I'm gonna have to bring that in a little bit more later. And then we press SY. We can bring it in. Alright. Now, like I said, since this is mirrored, we're gonna bring it out a little bit. Then we're gonna bring it back in. So, like this. Oh, you know what? Okay. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Why is there? Okay, snap. Whoops, that was hide. Okay, let's try again. Did I ever snap on? We'll probably end up taking out later. Now we got to oh my. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of that, since that side was more ideal, but it's not the end of the world yet. So if I really want this to work, then we gotta edit off this side. So I guess we have no choice but to try. So even though we probably could turn it around, but I won't be too picky. Or there we go. Nice. Now I got the side I wanted. So we could do two ways. We could do edge loops in, which is fine. But before I actually do that, we're gonna go these two. And bring them in. Okay, I'm gonna draw snap now. Bring it in a little bit lower. Beautiful. Oh, that's one. Oh. Nice. No, we can just extrude faces out from here. Before I do that, I'm gonna press, we're gonna go all sides, SZ, and we're gonna, okay. If I temporarily turn off clipping and do it again, we can have a nice, smooth, beautiful. Okay. So right now we're actually doing a lot better than I was expecting, which is great. But what we need to do next is start bringing it up. Now it is going to taper a bit, and we have to stay pretty faithful to the overall design here of the blade. Like I said, once we have it, basically right now we're just blocking out, so we're blocking. But once that's done, that's when the real fun is going to begin. So we probably could just do one all the way straight up, to be honest. So like E. Yeah, it's not gonna be that much different because it is just a straight curve. And then we can go back vertices select, grab these two edges, bring them in. Grab these two, bring it up, and we're basically done. So that's that. So it looks like the blade's blocked out. Like I said before, this wasn't going to be hard. Blocking out stage is pretty easy. Now, depending on how you feel about it, we could just block out and sculpt, which I am thinking about sculpting these out instead after blocking, depending on how I feel about it, of course. We might not do that, we might do something else entirely different, but we'll see what happens. But overall, that is the blade blocked out. Now we're going to move on. And like I said before, this probably could have been speedrun, but we'll take our time. So looking good. Now we could use a cylinder for this, but I'm not the biggest fan of what cylinders do. And the reason why I say that is because if I make this tiny enough, go up, since this is so simplistic, I probably could just get away with it just being a cylinder and then subdivide later. And then S, X, wow, that was insanely easy, unsurprisingly, because it was literally just a cylinder. There's no interesting intricate designs on the handle, so we are fine in that regard, although maybe in the final product I will add some material there for grip with hot glue, but that's very far away. For the time being, you guys might notice that our blade's kinda thick still, so we're gonna come back up to our blade, which we'll probably name blade blocked. Blocked, which means blocked out. So we'll work in edit mode, and we're just gonna grab these two, nothing else. Y, and now from here, that's X. Oh, that explains why it's not working. GX. There we go. Now you might notice that there's that opening there. That's perfectly okay. And to be fair, we are on the X-axis, so there we go. I guess this wasn't always most terribly accurate either. But that's that. To be fair, the pommel can also just be another cylinder as well. Like I said, a lot of these aren't really that difficult. Alright, not bad. Now again, we can sculpt out the pommel if we really wanted to. We would just need to add another cylinder and then possibly an isosphere that we would make that we would squish, So that would kind of look like this. But I like to subdivide mine, so we'll subdivide ours like 5 times. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. This might be a little bit too much for the time being. But it is all the way up. So this is to be fair, the design is a little bit inaccurate, but how we're going to solve this is by staying faithful to one side of the model, and we are going to, when sculpting, we're going to be activating the mirror, probably auto mirror, and after we do that, that should be a little bit easier. So for the time being, this does work. We'll add another cylinder. Excuse me. And do we actually not? No, we don't really need to. Probably just add another handle. We'll cut near the middle. And then bring these 2 bottom sides out. And with that, the sword's almost completely blocked out, so when it comes to doing the guard here, since the guard's a little bit more fancier, and I probably will have it be hollow as well, or request it to be hollow as well, because this is a lot of density, and having that be filled in could add a lot of weight that isn't going to be too ideal. Really, we want most of the weight of the weapon to be in the handle, and possibly a bit solid in the guard to solidify and hold everything together with its foundation. Outside of that, for 3D printing wise, that's going to be really it. Okay. So now we gotta do the sword. So a base. Now, in case you guys are wondering, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 outer designs. Those we're not blocking out yet. We might block out something for it eventually, or we could just sculpt it in when we activate our mirror modifier yet, but we're not gonna do it just yet, since it is still, since all this is still symmetrical. For the guard, we could just make this part here the base part before adding in the extra embellishments. That does work, but again, we don't want to waste too much of the paraphernalia here. We just want to keep it very, very simple, since it is supposed to be a blocking out stage, just to get those shapes. So if I were to hide both cylinder bets, this is what we have right now. Not the most interesting thing in the world, but it is getting there. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and so we'll grab another cube and we'll continue it on up. And again, if you guys are wondering why I didn't mirror modify these, due to them being pretty much identically symmetrical shapes, there's no point. Their cylinder, everything was a cylinder other than an isosphere, so I didn't really bother trying to mirror modifier these. But again, when we get to sculpting, I will absolutely, without doubt, be using the auto mirror modifier or auto mirror add-on, I believe is what it is. But for this part, for this base here, I'm definitely gonna continue using the mirror modifier, and then we'll use the plane as our base. So again, bring a mirror modifier in, plane, and on the Y, not the X. Origin of geometry, mirror modifier on the Y, object, plane. Really? Oh, there it is. Okay, it is here. It's on the Z? Yeah, it's on the Z. Okay, yeah, that's right, it's on the Z. Alright. And snap. Well, always put the snap, that's a bit odd. Put the snap on. Nice. Okay. And I'm not the biggest fan of how that looks. No freaking way. So I moved it over, right? I have to turn snapping off yet again. Just to bring these in. And maybe there is an easier method. If you guys know it, let me know. But alright. And again, any like clipping we might see, I can smoothen out in sculpting later, so it's not a big deal. So, and thankfully I don't have to do any retopology really here. Thank God. I did retopology once. It was one of the worst, most torturous experiences ever. Genuinely feels like a punishment. It is really freaking difficult, but so freaking worth it, even if it's not perfect. But that's a whole different topic for a whole different live stream. So let's continue with what we have here. Press Ctrl S, since we are now almost, we're 50% of the way done with the blocking. We just have to get the base and the guard done. Again, this is a pretty simple blocking for this part. So we could extrude. We could. Since we really have no way to know what the base looks like, other than these parts here, we will first start by bringing it up. I don't think that's gonna make a difference though. Okay. That might not have been the best way. Because I would have to put another one there, so maybe it's better to just extrude instead. So we're bringing it in. Okay, we're gonna have to make a couple of edge cuts, it seems, which is fine. There we go. Here we go. Nice. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do face select, and we are going to extrude. So, E. Grab these. Epic. Just like this. It's not gonna, it doesn't need to be incredibly perfect, it just needs to be the right shape. So easy. And to be fair, we're so close to being towards the end here anyways. Okay. That looks pretty good. So the guard is the one part blocking out. I'm not really sure how to do it without adding on extra detail, which again, it's not a big deal right now. The blocking phase doesn't have to be too bad, but specifically sculpting would make this easier. Although you could do it completely without sculpting, but to be fair, since I don't need to really retopo, it probably won't make much of a difference anyways. Okay. So here's how I'm gonna do it. We are gonna keep this piece here. So this is what we got right now. And technically speaking, we could block out these details here and then bring this out, but this part is going to be a little bit more difficult. It would probably be easier to just sculpt them instead of trying, or like I could block out one and just sculpt them and just pull them in, which probably would be a lot faster. It wouldn't be the most efficient way. I don't really know how or what would be the best way, but that's just the way I would do it. So here we go. I'm gonna block out this part. We'll block out this piece of the sword. Just make it clear, these three parts where there's discoloration are all different parts. This is the main blade, this is the part of the blade on the top that goes up a little bit, and then we have this plate part that goes on top. And we already did this yellow one here. And then down here we have this one as well, which I will do. And then we have this one. So let's do this. Not too hard. Throw in another cube. Alright. Not bad. We're actually doing pretty good, to be fair. Alright, everyone. I feel a little bit more confident that we're actually starting to pick this up now, because I know it's been quite slow. Alright. So looks like we are gonna have to do another edge cut, which is fine. And these are overlapping, but remember that this piece, this yellow piece, is going to be over this. Here we go. Nice. Need to extrude it. Whoops. Don't want to do it just yet. I want to rotate. Make that a little bit bigger. We're gonna. And to be fair, we could make a couple more, but it's not necessary. Edge select. Alright. Not too bad. So, like I said before, it's unsurprisingly, as the word alludes, blocky. And that's supposed to be that way. We will move into a little bit, although I don't expect to have really any sculpting done today, so it might just be a blocking out, and then tomorrow we continue on with the sculpting, but it shouldn't take us that long. So I will do one last extrude. Alright, I'm a liar, pants of fire. Now that was the last one. And we are gonna have to bring this out later. I will do it later though, just because the blade's already so thick as well. And yeah. So, I don't know what the screen cards, we're just gonna call it blade. I'll probably have most of this anatomy wrong, but blade blocked, blade bottom, sword base, and this part here shouldn't be too bad, and I will do it. It won't take me that long. So cube, a lot of cube. It's blocky for a reason, guys. Origin geometry, your modifier plane, put on Z, epic, edit mode, vertice select, grab the top left ones, and we'll bring them on in. To be completely fair, this isn't as bad as you think it would be. Press Z, so we keep that consistency. Okay. That looks pretty nice. That's very, very fine. Grab all that bottom, we could, or you could do it on the face select too. It doesn't really make much of a difference at this point. Need to extrude it down. I don't really like the way that was done. There we go, I like the snap. That looks pretty nice. You extrude again, so you snap it. And this looks like a pretty good point to where it starts to curve, and I can always add another edge loop if I need to. Now we're getting tired of listening to DS3's Firelink. Do I need to change it? Yeah, I do. Okay, I'll do that in just a sec. Let me just move you on up. And very nice. Okay. We'll do the bracelet Haley tree. And we're gonna go back in. Very chill and low key. It really, really is. I don't think this really isn't that difficult. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh, whoa. Don't think it matters. Okay. That looks good. I was a little bit on the fence about this. Okay. Now the thing about this part right here is, technically speaking, this part here goes and overlaps it. So realistically, all I really need to do is this, and then again this here would go over it, since it wouldn't even be seeable. Okay, so blue top. And this is actually going to be an indifferent, so we aren't going to worry about this just yet. But we will do these two, which isn't too hard. So technically, we could just get an isosphere, click on sculpt and just snake hook it. Oh, excuse me. But we could just grab a isosphere, and like I said before, just snake hook it in sculpt mode. Don't need to do it, but it is one way to do it. Instead, I'm just going to, you guessed it, use the cube. We'll do this bottom one here. Object set the origin. I probably don't need to do this anymore, I'm just doing it out of habit, but here. Sick. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. Alright, there we go. After retopology, this right here makes me really upset because it feels like it shouldn't be like that. But yeah, it is still 4 sides. Sick. All right. To be fair, I was expecting this to be way more hellish, but it's coming along great. To be fair, I probably don't even need to add in another extension or extrusion here, but I'll do it anyways. Okay. Pretty good, huh? And I don't know. Okay, these two are different shapes, so I do have to do this again. So, go on this. This one B. Probably could put on some more chill music, but forget it. I won't lie, these are pretty freaking boring. Gotta make sure we got her. Yeah, now it ain't boring no more. That's what I'm talking about. Also, don't worry if this part's off again. This is the part, the left side's the part that's symmetrical and matters, so it'll be symmetrical no matter what right now, so we're good. If you were a little bit concerned about that, there's that to do. Oh my goodness. do it this way. And then after press F, probably have to do it again, it's fine. So these are not going to stay, so I have to fill them. And I don't know if I go to face select I could see which ones need them, which ones don't. So this one's good. Looks like there's only 2 I have to do, so it's easier to do if I just put it on the vertex. 3, 4. Okay, so on the other side, I'll do this side. Okay, yeah, that is right. F. Not G, F. Nice. Retopology's really got me conditioned to make sure everything's a quad. Which this would drive me crazy, but thankfully it's not. Oh my god, it's such a freaking rest. I don't know how people survive retopo. When I did the hands, it made me want to freaking rip my hair out. It got really heated when I got to the freaking hands of retopo. That was no joke. But I made it through, and I made a banger, so. I'm just gonna continue doing it from here, we're good. Grab this. Do an extrusion. One more time. It's getting a little bit hard to see because it's so thick, but it's right here. So we'll do one last extrusion, bring that in real lot. Nice. Now we just gotta fill this section up. Looks like we could just do face. Extrude it on out. Oh yeah, wow, that looks wonderful. Okay. Do a fill. This is wonderful. Okay. Nice. Make sure we got all our faces. Heck yeah. Okay. Okay, so before this gray, dark gray part is going to be an indentation or ingrained into it. Okay, so what's left is the guard for blocking out. So the guard's a bit interesting because on the right side here I do have a little side and side profile front angle of it. That way I know. And it looks like we probably could combine 2 shapes to make it. And then I can do the adjustments for blocking out. So this might not even be that difficult to even make. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Oh my goodness. Alright. So I think we are going to do the blocking here, and then we're just going to move it over, since it looks like this one here is this one here, because this is made up of, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we have these 2 on the middle support. And yeah, I really should have looked for his helmet and shot. How dare I? Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry, I had to get it stretched a little bit. Dang. Okie dokie, artichoke, we're back. So I just noticed that there's another piece here which I don't know if that's it. It doesn't look like it though. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. If you do miss the live stream and are watching this and got this far, thank you so much. If you think the sword looks cool or not. And if it looks too similar to Knight Artorias. It needs to be changed, because I didn't want to just be blatant copy, because that's lame. It's okay to take inspiration, but you don't want to just blatantly copy. Well, here we go. I'm doing 3 this time. Alright. Got our accessor. Again, technically we could just connect 2 cylinders to it and just call it a day. And then just get immediately to sculpting from there. Probably gonna need a bit of a refresher, it's been a while since I sculpted, but that's good. Once we have the blade completely blocked out, we're basically ready to rumble. So, yeah. Like I said before, this is gonna be indentation or a very, very, very thin layer. But we will see. And yeah. Let's say that the bracelet Halo tree is getting a little bit rusty. Landell Royal Capel. Nice. Excuse me, guys. Yucky. Okay, back to work. So, we'll do 2 cylinders and then we'll just put them on each side. Or technically, nah, we'll stick with the cylinder. Because I don't know how a loop cut on a figure like this is gonna look. It's probably gonna look terrible. So we're gonna do it this way. And oops, there we go. 2 with faces. Nice. I am pressing Alt A and then left clicking to select all these loops like this, if you guys were wondering. I probably will maybe make a new one, but like this is pretty good. This looks epic. Alright, epic. Yeah. Okay. I understand based on the paint I did here. So this is actually looking at it from the base outwards. So this part here is this part right here. I can tell because of the way that the shadows are made. Because the light would be hitting this part here when I made this. Maybe I could make this just a bit bigger and then just move it over. Okay, we're good because that's just the image. Nice. We're looking pretty good. I don't know how the chat's doing because it's been pretty dead lately. It's a Thursday night, so I guess I understand. Alright, so no, I could technically come join them. Nothing's gonna happen because there's no modifiers on them. So, if you wanted to. This probably won't do it, but do. Insane. Awesome. And now I've just saved 2 copies. So we are going to now finish this on up. Whatever your last one you selected is where the origin is going to go to. So I press Control J and set it with your modifier. It practically becomes 1. And say you don't like that, I think that looks terrible. You really only need 1 for sculpting for right now. So taking a look at what this is going to seem to be. Nice. Sweet. So we have quite a bit of work to do still. And as we can see, I'm just gonna now technically I could mirror this part, the middle part, on the x-axis, and we would basically have the same thing. But I'm not sure how the first plane is gonna interact with it. So it is completely symmetrical, unlike earlier, which is great. Let me try that. And technically I could just bring it out like this if I really wanted to. Which probably would be better anyways, because it's going to be more accurate. either way it works. The clipping's not going to matter in the end of the day because it's going to be hollowed out. This goes on top of it. Right. Now this has to be on both sides. And if we turn on our side profile, we can actually see that it isn't really present. And that looks like the guards, this guard part right here just covers this up. Now I might go ahead and do a double X for this. And we'll do it for the top as well. Since right now you can't really see it. And what that would look like. And again, we could sculpt it, but that's what you're kind of looking at, and it looks kind of clunky. Like even this top part here looks a little bit too thick, I won't even lie. So I'll probably end up having to take that part down too. And these are gonna have to be 2 parts, so when modeling them, I think we would be able to get away with just doing a flip for a sculpt and then just and then mirror modifying them. That way we don't have to worry too much about having to resculpt the exact thing. So probably a duplicate flip or a mirror modifier will work just fine. I could see us doing it by making 2, but I do think, again, duplicating a mirror modifier will work very well in this case. But how's everybody doing? I haven't checked up on the chat yet. Alright. No one said anything. All good though. I'll just continue. But if you have any questions or want to say hi, chat's right there. All for me. Okay. So I will put these. We'll grab these 2 at the same time. Even though technically this one's a little bit further out, as you guys can see here from the reference I have. So first we'll do you. And then you guys can see this part right here. So what's interesting is that it looks like it wraps around, which we can technically do here, but I may just prefer to do that in sculpt. As you guys can see, pretty freaking cool, is it not? So yeah, it looks like we are going to have to eventually sculpt this out. Right now in the blocking phase, we don't really need to do that. And we are going to come back to the guard when we do sculpting, and we're going to duplicate, and we'll probably end up using Elastigrab on that. Thank you. Oh my goodness, do I really have to say that name out loud? Thank you, Precious Metal Girl. I appreciate it. We really are cranking out a banger here. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah. How are you doing? At least there's somebody in chat, you know what I mean? But continuing on. I'll put this back on. What we have to do here, to be fair, I think we're actually ready for sculpting. Because this wasn't as, like Selena Beth, the blade I made, isn't that real technical. Love from Estonia, Ran. Alright. Oh my god, I am not saying that name. What is up with you guys? I'll say Lord, but I'm not saying that next part. Estonia. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi in the chat. Appreciate it. And if you really love the content, make sure to leave a like. Helps out the stream a lot. As Dr. Tyler says, they're very rare creatures that we don't see too very often on streams. So be sure to hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. But getting back to the work. What we're going to do is we are going to... Dang, already at sculpting. So here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking, if I decide to go ahead and make this part out, rather than ingraining it like I wanted to, then that would allow us, because, okay, if you look at my side profile here, you can see we have the blade base and then we have the dark segment, which means this is a part of the blade. So if this is all going to eventually come in and taper into a sharpened edge, then it might not even be necessary at all. And interestingly enough, go to our side profile, other side please, you can kind of see our bottom part here is this part, which is our guard. Then we have this part here, which looks like we're gonna have to block out a little bit more. I think it's interesting. Yeah, that's actually crazy that I designed it this way now I think about it. Either that or I'm completely wrong. But yes, I am completely wrong. I see what happened. So the black part here is a part of the blade that we can see here, and this is why, or you can see here, what the heck am I talking about? And this is the part we have to use a bit of critical thinking, because these are parts of the project where it starts to slow down, or at least me personally, I start to slow down these parts to really evaluate what the heck's going on. I've done this quite a bit. If you see my other channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it looks like this part here is the end of the blade here, so I do have to do that. Now, as far as... yeah. As far as that goes, I couldn't dent it. But it looks like the black part of the blade is going down from what I did here. I don't mind doing it that way. So I'm going to make a backup. And by the way, I can become a real freak when it comes to backing up my work. I've had literally like 60 dot blends at some points, just because I am that adamant about backing up my data. That way, in case I make a mistake, I can go back, even if it's not necessary. Usually I'm left with like 2 gigabytes worth, so yeah. But we're gonna make this work, so. Okay. We're gonna try this, so. What on earth? Alright. Let's do this, guys. Here's what I'm thinking. Because that's... it looks like it though, doesn't it? But I can tell it isn't. So I'm gonna have to loop cut and bring it in, because these colors aren't really gonna be noticeable anyways with the 3D print, unless I mask it up and then spray paint it, which I am thinking about doing for this. But what we have to do is bring this down And that can be done just through a loop edge cut and then just pushing it in like we've been doing. I don't mind doing it that way, but other side please, thank you. Okay, if that's what I'm thinking on doing, then sweet. But that means that our actual blade itself is a lot thinner, and that there is no, I just effed up this side profile. This part specifically is effed up because that doesn't make sense. There should be more black coming out from here. So side profile, and we'll continue this on up. Okay, looks like I was listening to myself as well, so let's do this. Oh my gosh. Origin to geometry on a Wyman shape case. Modifiers. Put on the Z. Left side. Edit mode. Grab it on the Z axis. Wonderful. Now that's where it gets interesting. Make sure you have it all. Yep. Definitely have to bring that in later. Alright, so the reason why that's happening is because it looks like my 3D cursor's on a slant, and that can really stink. So snap it. Way too freaking close. Nice. Okay, that's so much better. Alright, y'all. I think it's time for a bit of positivity and gratitude. I'd like to thank all of you guys so far for watching. It's been an awesome blessing to be able to be put in opposition, or the hell am I talking about? Opposition, what the hell? It's so great to have this opportunity to be able to make such cool stuff and to be able to make some of my dreams come true. I want to thank again the Dark Souls community, you guys for watching and supporting the stream, all my subscribers, everybody that's joined the Discord server, Dr. Tyler, Zonda Joe, even though you guys probably aren't ever going to see this part of the live stream anyways, and my family, and everyone else out there that loves my content and loves, well, artists' content in general. I'm very thankful to have all of you guys in my life, and I'm very thankful to be able to be put in the opportunity to do what I do here. So, a massive thank you. But let's continue on with this sword, because it's just been so freaking awesome. Alright. On the x-axis. Really? There we go. feel better. Okay. That's gonna need some smoothing, but overall it seems to be pretty nice. I don't mean to render that. Alright, there we go. Now we need to make you thicker. Okay. Nice. I mean, it's a fairly simplistic design. I'm not going to intricacies yet, because I do actually have an intricacy pattern I'm going to be putting on it. I don't know if I'll be doing it on live stream or not, but it's a simple sculpt will be all it is. I am taking into consideration slicing though when it comes to 3D printer, because I actually have 3D printed objects before, and I know that the fibers on them can sometimes get kind of silky and webby, so you do have to be careful when you make intricate designs that are really small. Outside of that, we're gonna continue along. We're really not doing bad. We're good. All right. Oh my gosh, really? What the hell? Oh my god. Okay. All right. Okay, but there's gnats in here. Get them out. Anyways. Shoot, man, I might have to do a BRB. To be fair, we're really close. So again, we'll count the amount of guard pieces we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 14 on each. And we have our blocked out version right here. Overall, this looks solid. This actually was for our latest tonight. This would be a one-day build. The blocking stage is definitely pretty much done. Yeah, the blocking stage is pretty much almost done. There really isn't too much else to do. We can remove our references, and you guys can kind of see. Pretty cool. Alright, so quickly take a BRB. I'll be back. It's not going to take us that long. And we'll put it on, you guys can kind of see. I know this looks really freaking goofy, but when we get to sculpting, it's gonna look so much better. And you know, I'll actually switch out the music before I leave, so we get some better ambience. Since Landell's probably getting really annoying. We'll do Limgrave. Limgrave's freaking sweet. The ambience I'm gonna get is from Gold Dragon 369. He put together some Elden Ring, Ost, music ambience night and day, 1 hour. So pretty cool that the fans like to do that. And yeah, I'm gonna be back. So I'm not gonna be long. Sorry, no BRB. I forgot. I don't know what happened to it. Alright guys. Sarina Betsina. Sarina Betsina. Equals that. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, no, the blocking out phase is done actually. Okay, I'm back. I'm actually, oh yeah, I'm actually kind of cold. I'm gonna put my hoodie. Fuck this shit. Holy crap, all up. It's an Umbrian hoodie. I could put the hood up. It's summer, but it's cold. Like, I don't know what happened. Shit, it's mad cold. I'm back. So, we're gonna finish this on up. We don't really have that much else to do, so I was thinking to myself, if I decimate this, ooh, excuse me, if I decimate this, because for sculpting we need to have enough mesh to actually be able to mold it out. If I sculpt it how it is, it's not going to work. We need to subdivide, and we are going to keep the mirror modifier on this because we want to be working on both sides, even though technically speaking sculpt has it anyways. But what I'm gonna do essentially is I'm going to make another backup because I'm a maniac when it comes to backing up my files. The same way I'm a maniac when it comes to painting and animating. I'll make ungodly amounts of layers. And yeah. So again, nothing personal, kid, but we're gonna turn that off. Control S, make a backup. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. We're doing good. Alright, let's go ahead and start. So what we have to do first is we're gonna have to subdivide. So I got the blade here, and we are going to, we don't even need to shade it smooth, we just, we probably could, but we just need to subdivide. So tab edit mode, A to select everything, subdivide, and we'll go 10, 20, wow, that is a ton on the bottom. It was, let me see what 10 was again. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do 20. I know it's a massive amount on the bottom, but we need it. So now we've done that. You know what? I am actually having second guesses. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to put a loop cut through the middle, so yep, just like that. We'll do G, Y, okay. It's glitching out, so this is good. That looks much better. That swing like a blade. Yep. Okay, to be fair, I think this is a much better way to do it. Just grab this. Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of that. I might just grab it by the face, actually. Forget that. We'll grab it by the face. Okay. Grab by the edge then. Sick. Oh my goodness. Did I really just do that? Let me check, guys. Did I? I think I did. I'll put up just a little bit more. That looks good. All right. Nice. I'm not really too worried about this. This looks fine to me. Yeah. No, this looks really good. Okay. We're in no trouble at all. Alright. We should be fine. Yeah. Okay. I think we can keep the... Yeah, we can keep these the way they are. This should be fine. But if I think maybe it needs to be brought just a bit more, I can allow it. Take off the X-ray. I don't think this needs to be massively huge. Because this still needs to be over it. It's a bit blocky, so we're gonna have to sculpt these all out. And then we're gonna have to sculpt this one to round it. And after that, this can literally just stay the way it is. It needs to stay sharp and pointed. So we're actually pretty close to finishing that part. And this is just going to get smoothed out really, so a smooth pass probably could be enough with a little bit of strip laying, but overall we're making pretty good progress. So this looks fantastic. I'm gonna do one last hard save. So okay. And back on. Thank you guys for sticking with me. And now we can start the sculpting process. So sculpting's not too difficult. Just making sure that was symmetrical. It was. So for this object, we can go to edit mode, select all, subdivide. Five times should actually be very sufficient. It should be the same on the other side too. So now, when I go into sculpt mode, we don't have much to do. So our blade's ready. And we will just start subdividing many of these. So five seems to be sufficient. Maybe even too many. But again, we do need quite a bit of mesh to be able to actually work and sculpt. So nice. This is practically like perfect actually, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, there's a very slight curve. I probably will though. Looking good. Again, thank you guys so much for the support and for watching. It means a lot. We are doing so good. And the reason why I am subdividing these is because, again, we're going to have the mesh collide into each other. And we're going to be having to probably decimate most of this anyways. So I'll probably end up decimating. And I'll decimate them in parts. So this will get decimated, then I'll decimate these. And we'll see, because I think this is like already, yeah, it's pretty well divided, and to be fair, this doesn't really need to be subdivided anymore. It has enough mesh, so I guess we subdivide this, like, again, 5 is already sufficient. Any more is just gonna be overkill, really. And yeah, I could keep working on it, but I think I'm gonna call it for today. I want to thank everybody for stopping by the live stream on a Thursday. Even just watching the live stream for like a minute helps a lot, and I'm very thankful for you guys. This has been such a privilege to be able to do. This was so much fun. I cannot wait to finish it up. Again, we want to take a look at what we're actually working with here. Looks like I'm going to have to remove the plane as well. Oh wait, I do have it, okay. So this is what we're working with. Pretty good. Still, certain parts, such as these right here, absolutely need to be blocked out, but they look sick. This needs to be sculpted to actually look like a guard that I have in mind, rather than just an ice cream cone. I probably could subdivide, or well, it's already subdivided, but I have to bring that up. And then overall, the blocking process is completely done. She looks epic. And if, say, we wanted to just have a theoretical look at what this could be, just a 180. But oh well. It's not really the greatest, because we gotta add 17, 7 for, or 14, 7 for each side. But yeah. That is my sword Selena-Beth, inspired by ARTORIAS' Great Sword of Artorias, of this Great Sword, and Wolf Knight Great Sword. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this live stream, maybe even learn something new. I've been doing a lot of 3D animation and modeling for the past 4 months, or past 3 months, almost 3 months-ish. So it's definitely been quite the journey. And yeah. Looks fantastic. Overall, my design, even when I did it in concept before I made the sheet for this video, I kind of knew what I wanted to do, and I'm very happy with the final product. It looks intense, it looks beautiful and majestic, just like me. And yeah, jokes aside, this has been an awesome live stream, and I cannot wait to finish this up. So, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on the live stream if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Join my Discord server, link is in the description below. If you want to support the channel, I have that too with memberships and with donations and supers. You can either support on one of my other videos if you find it to be helpful. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more awesome Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Bloodborne content. I am going to be having a updated Dark Souls glitches video coming out on all the best glitches you can do in the game. You can also you can also check out my previous video on learning how to do moveset swap or move swap glitch in DSR that was found recently of August of last year. That's pretty cool too. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Stick around for the next episode when we are going to hopefully sculpt the finisher up. Again, this is supposed to be a one-day build, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love all you guys. Drink water, and peace out. Thanks for epic live stream.